As you've probably heard, Angelina Jolie is making headlines because of her decision to undergo a double mastectomy in hopes of preventing breast cancer. Now People magazine is reporting she plans to have her ovaries removed as well. It would be a tough decision for any woman to make, and this morning we have a lot of questions. To help us answer some of those questions is Dr. Keola Beal. He's an oncologist from Kaiser Permanente. Good morning, Dr. Beal.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So we learned from Angelina Jolie that she has this gene called the BRCA1, and it shows that she has a high risk of breast cancer and ovarian cancer. So how should people get this test, and can they get it?
Sure. So first I'd say it's not common. It's very uncommon to have this hereditary form of breast cancer. We all have genes, but unfortunately some of us can have an abnormal form of this gene. And to get the testing, basically we look for patients who have a strong family history of breast cancer or ovarian cancer. So typically parents or brothers, sisters, that sort of thing.
So, you know, we hear about people getting their breasts removed when they have cancer, so it's pretty rare then to have this double mastectomy then because of this, right?
It is rare, but when we do see it, because the risk is so high, for instance, for Angelina Jolie, she was a BRCA1 carrier, or she is, and her risk was it's like 87% in terms of developing breast cancer during her lifetime. So because the risk was so high, she decided to go ahead and have the mastectomies done.
Now, one of the things that she wrote about is that this genetic test costs maybe anywhere from $3,000, and a lot of women are thinking, I can't afford that. So how can everyday women get access to something like this?
Sure. So it's not something you would walk in off the street and just request a test, but if it's recommended by your doctor, and specifically if you have this strong family history, or if you're a young person, say less than the age of 45 with breast cancer, then it may be recommended to you. And there are certain guidelines that we follow to identify patients that are at high risk for having the gene.
Well, what should women be prepared for in terms of taking this test? I mean, one of the things I would think is that you have to be prepared for the answer, whatever that answer might be, right?
Yeah, and typically women will meet with a genetic counselor, and before they even get tested, they would discuss some of the possible ramifications, because obviously not only can it affect them, but it can affect other family members as well, because this is something that runs in families. So there can be a lot of ramifications, and important that I think patients understand those potential ramifications.
Right. What did you think of when you heard of Angelina Jolie's case?
Well, I really want to just say thank you to her for being willing to come out and be public about having this gene and talking about how it's affected her life, and I think it's great that she's willing to do that. I think it provides a lot of education for people out there.
It sure does, and it certainly got us to talk this morning. All right, well, Dr. Beal, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate your insight.
Thank you.